Welcome back, friends. We continue with our grammar and today we are going to focus on tenses. As you know, what are tenses? Simple present, simple past, simple future, those are the most common kinds of tenses, you know. So, tenses are past, present and future. Simple present, I am. Simple past, I was, and simple future, I will, but there is more to tenses than this. So, past, present, future, we will look at the various complexities that accompany tenses. One of the most frequently confused area of grammar, one of the areas in grammar, in English grammar, where there is the maximum scope for making mistakes. So, welcome again and here are the objectives. What are we going to do today? To give a brief overview of tenses, types of tenses and usage of the correct forms of tenses, and also to introduce all of you to modal verbs and its various types. Now, read these sentences. This is just an example, a warm up exercise for you. Jane writes books to earn a living. Jane wrote books to earn a living. Jane will write books to earn a living. So, verbs, what are the verbs here? Writes, wrote, will write, and these verbs indicate or give you a sense of the tense. So, what is the function of these verbs? They are used here to indicate when a person did a particular act. When Jane writes, that means it is in the present tense. Jane wrote, she wrote, she is no longer writing, and Jane will write, this is an act that she will do sometime in the future. Now, tenses and three types of tenses. Present tense, it indicates an action that happens now or in the current times, it is going on. I speak, okay. I teach, I will go back, I am teaching my students right now through this NPTEL course. Anyway, I do teaching to earn my living. So, I teach. I taught, it will become a past tense, which will indicate an action that has already occurred, which is also called simple past or past simple. And here is an example, my performance fell short the last month. My performance will fall short next month. So, if it is will, it is going to be next month, it can't be last month. So, it tells you, tenses tell you the time of an action. Future tense indicates an action that will occur in the future, also called simple future or future simple. That is, an example is, I will surely do better next time. Next year, there will be more students enrolled for all the NPTEL courses. So, this is future and we predict something. So, next year and will. Continuous tenses, part of tense again in the broader term aspect of tenses, we have continuous also, simple, present continuous, past continuous, future continuous. Continuous tenses are used to indicate an ongoing action. I am running, it is going on. I am talking, it is going on. I was running, I was talking. So, the present participle of the main verb in the this continuous tense is used with the appropriate tense of the auxiliary verb to be. Be we have already seen in one of our earlier classes. The forms of be, is, am, are, were, etc., auxiliary. So, types of continuous tenses: present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, and then we have perfect tenses. Perfect tenses are used to indicate an action that have already been completed or meant to be completed sometime in the future. The past participle of the main verb is used with the appropriate tense of the auxiliary verb to have worked, will have worked, had worked, etc. There are three types of perfect tenses: present perfect, past perfect and future perfect. Present perfect is used to indicate completed action or activities in the immediate past. She has just finished the task. She has just finished writing her assignment. That means it has happened in the present time, but is completed. We also use it to express past actions whose time is not definite. John has been to Malaysia. Mary has been to Delhi. So, we do not know when, but it expresses a sense of time and a completed action. It is also used to indicate an action beginning at some time in the past and continuing up to the present. This is important. It began sometime in the past and is continuing up to the present. He has been very busy for the last 10 years. That means he was busy 10 years ago and he is busy even now. So, it is continuous. Okay. So, it began at some time in the past and it is continuing up to the present. Perfect continuous tense is used to indicate an ongoing action at some particular point of time. They are of three types: present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense and future perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous tense, what is it? The present perfect continuous tense is used for an action which began at some time in the past and is still continuing. So, you always use ing form. This is an important thing. When you say continuous tense, then it means the action is still going on. The recording is going on. It is a present continuous tense. He has been reading for the past 3 hours and is still reading. That is the sense. They have been watching the match since 1 o'clock and are still watching. So, if the child has been playing some online games and is still playing. So, something that started in the recent past and is still going on. Here is the flow chart. It helps you, perhaps it will help you to understand how tenses are done. So, present tense, the broader umbrella, under it you have simple present, you have present continuous, you have present perfect and you have present perfect continuous. Please look at the various examples. And here is a similar flow chart for past tense. So, past tense and then you have simple past, you have past continuous, you have past perfect and you have past perfect continuous. And look at the way ing is used in past perfect continuous. And look at the flow chart for future tense. You have simple future, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous. Now, note, we use the simple present tense to talk about generally accepted facts. Example, the earth goes round the sun, the earth is round, this room is flat. Okay? I mean, at least the floor of this room is flat. So, this is an accepted fact. It is very hot today or rather let us say Chennai is very hot all the time, all the year round. So, this is a generally accepted fact. The verbs which are always used in simple tenses are want, like, belong, always used in simple tense. So, I liked her, I like her, Okay. I was liking her, no, you do not use such kind of a sentence construction. I was wanting it very badly, I wanted it badly, that is it. I saw a beautiful perhaps a piece of jewel and I wanted it, but I can't say I was wanting it or I am wanting it. It is a completely inaccurate usage of the verb. With the exception of a few examples, very often the simple past ends in ed, liked, wanted, belonged. Okay, so, ed ending in ed. This is again tenses, a very complicated area of grammar, and you will be surprised at every step. If you are not very conversant with the English grammar or with the tenses, then you will be surprised at every step, at every stage about the usage of the simple past. Also note that rule states that shall is to be used with first person pronoun like I, while will is to be used for the second and third person pronouns he, they. However, these are all often used interchangeably. Will is usually used when an order or command is made, thy will be done, and shall is used when a suggestion is made or an advice is asked. I shall not do it again. Okay. So, generally speaking, we agree that shall is used with I, but it is also used when a suggestion is made or when an advice is asked. Now, look at this particular exercise. Identify the tense form of the underlined, or in this case highlighted in red words in the passage. In the wake of push from the world powers to reduce carbon emission and India's readiness to comply with the Paris Climate Agreement 2016, Japanese auto giants Toyota and Suzuki have decided to work collaboratively to introduce electric cars in India by 2020. India is the world's 5th biggest car market, and car companies see a lot of potential considering the Indian government's ambitious plans to convert the entire vehicle fleet in the country to electric by 2030. The Japanese auto majors signed a deal and a memorandum of understanding MOU in February. Suzuki, which holds 50% passenger vehicle market share through its subsidiary Maruti, and Toyota, the world's largest automotive manufacturer, will soon sign another MOU on considering a cooperative structure for the introduction of electric vehicles, EVs. A company statement said while Toyota would provide technical support, Suzuki would produce EVs and support some vehicles to and supply some vehicles to Toyota. And look at the reference here. Identify the tense form of the underlined words. To reduce, to comply, have decided is signed, will soon sign, considering. Here are your answers. A simple present, B simple present, C past perfect, D simple present, E simple past, F simple future, G present continuous. Next exercise. Identify the correct tense of the verb. Juhi just dashed the company last week. So, last week, pay attention to this. Joins, joined, joining. She become the manager of this company when she was 24. Will become, is to become, became. Number 3, how long dash in this department? You worked, have you worked, work. We dash pitch our proposal to them, discussions dash expect to continue in the weekend, into the weekend. Have pitched are expected, pitched are expected, pitching expected. And here are the answers. First, be joined, And look at the explanation. A time period last week is clearly mentioned in the sentence and it is in the past as well. And then C, became. The sentence is already written in the past tense, hence became is the right answer. Number 3, B, have you worked? The present perfect tense is used when one wants to indicate for how long a particular action has been going on. And 4A, have pitched are expected. Have pitched is used because the activity has just taken place. However, the discussion is an activity in the immediate future. Hence, the more appropriate tense form would be are expected. Next exercise. I dash work here from 2010 to 2015, have been working, have worked, worked. She dash run every day in the morning, she do so for the past 10 years. Ran did, running doing, runs has been doing. Which is the best pair? And answers, have been working. It is a definitive time period which is mentioned here and hence the past perfect tense is to be used here. And 6 is C, runs and has been doing. She runs and she has been doing this for the year. So, this is something that has been going on for a long time. And this is the explanation given. The first sentence is a general statement indicating something she does every day. Hence, the simple present tense is used there. And the second sentence includes a definitive time period and hence present perfect tense is to be used here. And let us now look at what are modal verbs. The modal verbs are verbs that are used with another verb. They rarely stand alone. Most of the time they are used with another verb. Examples are can, could, will, would, must, may, might. In simple sentences they stand alone. I can do that, she can do that, she will do that, I must go now. So, go is also a verb. So, most often they are used with some other verb. Now, can indicates for example, I gave you examples like I can do this. So, let us look at can and do. Do is also a verb, but when I say they can fish, okay, so which means they put fish in cans, they know how to fish, and another meaning could be they put fish in can. So, here can is the main verb. When you say they can fish as in an act of fishing, then fish is the verb and can becomes a modal verb. But in they can fish, where we are talking about fish as a noun and can putting in cans, the act of putting fish in cans, then here you are talking about, here you are using can, can as the main verb. Otherwise, most of the time these modal verbs are used along with another verb to express possibility, permission, etc. Can indicates the possibility of something happening or the ability of someone to do something. The negative of can is cannot or can't. Could is sometimes used as a past tense of can. It can also indicate a general ability to do something and also to indicate future happenings. We could go to the movies today if the weather is all right. We use could have when we had the ability or opportunity to do something, but we were unable to. Example, I could have been the manager of the company, I could have been the CEO of the company, but unfortunately I could not or I am not. We use must in sentences like that. Oh, she studied at Harvard, she must be really smart then. So, must be sentence, hence we use it, here we use it when we know that something is true, must be true. Must have is used to indicate a past action. Did it really rain? I must have been sleeping, I missed it. To continue with modal verbs, can, could, may and would are also used for making requests, asking permissions. Can I interest you with this? May I come in? Would you mind if I take your pen? Should is used in situations where something must be done. Example, I should be working harder, I am not working hard enough. Might is used to indicate possibility of what is hypothetical. Example, if you had worked harder, you might have been selected for the project. Although may and might are used interchangeably, may is used to indicate the possibility of something factual happening. If we do not make an agreement, I fear we may lose the contract. It is an example. Now, let us look at the way verbs are used in request and offers, and the modal verbs are used here. To make requests, we can use can and could. In a professional setting, one avoids using direct command, go and do this. Would you be able to do that? That is the correct form. While making requests, remember could and can are much more polite. In business situations, business communication, you have to remember, may I use this? Although for most of us, this may appear perhaps unnatural way of speaking. However, in business communication, especially we are talking about business communication in global situations, global workplaces, and here these kinds of polities are much appreciated. Use of politeness markers. Giving the minutes of the meeting, instead use could I have the minutes of the meeting please. We do not just give direct command. While making an offer, it is common to use shall I or would you like. Shall we meet at the office lounge at 4 p.m. Would you like to start the meeting? So, that is the way. Start the meeting, impolite. Would you like to start the meeting? Perhaps you would like to start the meeting. If I may suggest. So, those are the politeness markers, indicators of politeness, which are extremely essential in business communication. Let us look at the structure here and the modal verbs. So, person, first person, second person, third person, we have already done this, modal verbs and action. Please look at the table here. You must be hungry. I know this better. You can't be hungry. Second column, I have been walking. You can't say you can't been hungry or he can't been hungry. He must have been hungry. He must have been walking. I might be hungry, be tired, be angry. You might be tired. He might be angry. I may have been hungry. You might have been walking. So, these are the common structures that are used with modal verbs. Now, use the correct modal verb here in these exercises. I cannot believe you met Beckham in person. You dash very excited. A might have been, might be, must have been. Second, you dash insulted him in front of the whole team. Should have, shouldn't have, could have. Number 3, I dash meet client tomorrow, but it all depends on my schedule. Number 4, oh, the client left a message on my phone. He dash be here already. Must, could, can. Next one, Om is our best employee. He dash his work efficiently. Can, could, might. I dash finish my work tomorrow, however, it will require some serious effort from my part. Could, could not, might not. And here are the answers. First, see, must have been. The situation is real and has. So, you must have been very excited on meeting David Beckham. Second, B, shouldn't have. You shouldn't have insulted the person. Is instructing the other person here on what type of behavior is permissible. And third, B, might. Here the situation is hypothetical, hence dependent on the person's schedule. Hence, may is not really applicable. And number 4, A, must. The action is true, hence must is used. Number 5, A, can. The sentence indicates Om's ability to do something, hence can is used. And 6a could, the sentence indicates the person's general ability to do something in the future, hence could is used. Look at this exercise. Now, write an offer, this is something for you to do, and request each for the situations given below. An interview board at the office, in a meeting, at a party. An interview board, see this is the way. Could you please tell us your salary expectations? Would you like to discuss your previous experiences? How would you be perfect for this job? At an office, I will let you know by evening. Would you be interested in working for our project? Next one, in a meeting or at a meeting rather. Hello sir, could I interest you with this brief report on the annual report of our company? Could you please make a speech congratulating this year's best employee? So, what we are doing? We are looking at best practices in business communication, best kind of language in business communication. Let me repeat, this is not the way you may talk in your everyday language. You need not be so polite with your friends or family members. However, in a global working place, these markers are expected, this sort of behavior is expected. To some of us it may appear artificial, unnatural and a put on. However, this is what is expected, and to the native speaker this is not unnatural at all, this comes very naturally. This is a part of their upbringing and everyday speech. So, therefore, we have to be conversant with this if we want to work in a global workplace. And at a party, hello, may I know your name please? We do not ask your good name, that is the way we may talk in our situation, but may I know your name please is very global. Is it true that you might be expanding your franchise by the end of next year? Okay, this is a polite way of inquiring after something. So, thank you very much, and this is to recap, we have done modal verbs and tenses in its various or tenses in their various forms. So, we will soon meet for our next class. Thank you.